Conflict between Thailand and Cambodia. Both countries claim land marked on a French colonial map from 1907 that Cambodia uses, but Thailand rejects. In May, troops exchanged fire in a contested zone. One Cambodian soldier was killed. Thailand tightened security at border crossings. And at the same time, we had Cambodia stopping fuel imports from the country and blocked Thai media as well as Thai websites and some digital services. Now, in June, a leak call took place between the Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra and Cambodia's former leader Hun Sen, in which she called him uncle and criticised the Thai commander. This sparked outrage in Bangkok. Now, amid mounting pressure, the two governments did agree to a US-backed ceasefire in late July, formally signed 3 months later in the presence of the US president. Now, 4 months later, Thailand suspended that ceasefire after a landmine blast maimed a Thai soldier. Cambodia denies laying any new mines. Well, now we can speak to the Foreign Minister of Thailand, Chihisak Phraengketkeow. He joins us from Bangkok. Why are you two countries fighting?
Well, we're fighting. Well, first of all, I want to say that Thailand did not start the clashes. The Cambodians were the first to fire. And right now, the clashes are unfortunately continuing. But you see, before the present situation, we had, after the signing of the Kuala Lumpur Joint Declaration, which committed us to implement a number of measures to bring peace back to the relations between our two countries. You know, we were faced with an incident of new mines that were laid by the Cambodians, and our soldiers stepped on this mine. It was not just one incident, it was the seventh of a series of incidents. And so for us, you know, it demonstrates that the Cambodians have not lived up to their commitment under the joint declaration that we signed in Kuala Lumpur. And subsequent to that, they continued, you know, to create false narrative that Thailand is the aggressor, they are the smaller country, even though, you know, in fact, you know, we really, you know, have been trying to exercise self-restraint. And in this current situation, it was their side, the Cambodian side, which committed acts of provocation, which eventually, unfortunately, led to the current clashes.
Foreign Minister, the Cambodians are a smaller nation militarily. They're a fraction of the size of Thailand's. Now, the thing is, a lot of this is down to these Hindu temples, this cluster of Hindu temples in Cambodia, which rely in a 1907 colonial match that you reject, and also the International Court of Justice in 1962 awarded those temples and the territory around them to Cambodia. Why can't you accept that?
Mm-hmm. Well, why can't the Cambodians accept the fact that the temples, not all of them are inside Cambodian territory? Yes, the one that you mentioned, in which there was a World Court decision, yes, the World Court awarded that temple to Cambodia. We don't question that. But there are other temples along the border, many of which are on the Thai side. And you know, these temples are of Khmer civilization. Khmer civilization is not the monopoly of Cambodia. You know, you have these Khmer temples in Thailand, you have these Khmer temples in Vietnam, you have these Khmer temples in Indonesia. So I totally reject the claim that these temples belong to Cambodia. Please check your history.
Okay, well, there's talk that this time around you're not looking for mediation. So what's it going to take for you, for the two countries to stop this fighting?
Well, you know, we've always been open to mediation, but mediation takes, you know, both sides to be willing to be mediated, right? We had the KL Joint Declaration, which was mediated by the United States and Malaysia. And from the very beginning, we pointed out to the Americans that we wanted them to mediate peace, genuine peace, not a piece of document. And so this is what we want, a commitment, a readiness by the Cambodian side to negotiate peace. Obviously, at the moment in time, they're not ready to do that. You know, they say they're ready on the one hand, but what their actions on the ground are entirely in the opposite direction.
I'm sure the Cambodians would probably say the same about the Thais in that context as well. Would there be another intermediary, though, who could come in? Perhaps it wouldn't be the US this time. Perhaps it could be China alongside of Malaysia or any other third party.
Again, you know, mediation, as a matter of principle, depends upon the other side, both sides willing to be mediated. We don't see a willingness on the part of the Cambodian, a genuine willingness. You know, when the fighting erupted, they said, you know, they've made calls for self-restraint, but in actual fact, what they were doing on the ground was entirely opposite. So I think that once they come around to recognizing that that they have to cease what they've been doing so far, and then we'll consider the prospects for mediation. Thailand, as you know, we are not an aggressive country. We are the only country in Southeast Asia that has been able to maintain our independence. And why? Because of our diplomacy. We always believe in diplomacy, you know. And so in this case, we believe in diplomacy, but the first step must come from the Cambodians. They must stop the way they've been doing things, talking about peace, but acting in a way contrary to peace.
So diplomacy is not a guiding light this time around, is what you're saying?
Diplomacy will work when the situation provides the space for